There's a moment in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows that they cut from the movies that makes me so mad. They actually filmed this scene too, which makes me even madder, and then they decided to cut it. It just makes no sense. It's this scene right here. When Petunia tells Harry this, "Do you think I don't know what they're capable of? You didn't just lose a mother that night in Godric's Hollow, you know. I lost a sister." Then she walks out of the house and out of the series forever. It's a legitimately devastating bit of acting here, and it's left very ambiguous in the books. This is what the book says. She stopped and looked back. For a moment, Harry had the strangest feeling that she wanted to say something to him. She gave him an odd, tremulous look, and seemed to teeter on the edge of speech. But then, with a little jerk of her head, she bustled out of the room after her husband and son. In an interview later, someone asked Rowling what Petunia was going to say, and this was her response. I think that for a moment, she trembled on the verge of wishing Harry luck. That she almost acknowledged that her loathing of this world and of him was born out of jealousy, but she couldn't do it. Years of pretending that normal was best had hardened her too much. I wanted to suggest in the final book that something decent, a long-forgotten memory, a long-forgotten but dimly burning love of her sister, the realization that she might never see Lily's eyes again, almost struggled out of Aunt Petunia when she said goodbye to Harry for the last time. That she is not able to admit it or show those long-buried feelings. It's weirdly great character writing out of what most of us view of one of the flattest characters in the entire series. This woman, who we have come to hate for her abuse of Harry, now stands before him and offers up some token of regret and sadness of the sister that she has lost, and the sister whose eyes she is reminded of every single summer morning when Harry wakes up and looks at her. This kind of regret can be poisonous, eating away at you and making you do exactly what Petunia does in this whole series, growing numb to it. And it makes you grow numb to it to a point that you neglect and abuse someone because you are so stubborn and hardened against the trauma that happened, the regret that you carry. And personally, I think it would have just been a marvelous addition to the movies to actually include this scene rather than just make it a deleted scene. This actually makes me sad. If Petunia could have gotten over her jealousy of Lily and disappointment in not being as special as her sister, I honestly think she could have been as fiercely protective of Harry as she was of Dudley. I could imagine Petunia running to Hogwarts to fight. Despite her not being a witch and not even really being able to find the castle, I could imagine that the school makes an exception to a muggle entering the castle because Petunia's love for Harry was that significant. That it changed the very fabric of magic at the school to allow someone to stand and fight, who wasn't a witch or a wizard. I could imagine Petunia being the one that may charge after Bellatrix for what she did to Harry. It's the beautiful what-if scenario that I may actually make another video about now that I think of it. Another deleted scene, and one that is equally as powerful but significantly more comedic in the books, is the Dudley goodbye. In the movies, we don't get any of the Dursleys in the last movie, but in the books, Dudley actually tells Harry goodbye in some way. It shocks Harry, too. This is what the books have. "It's fine," Harry assured her. "It doesn't matter, honestly." "Doesn't matter," repeated Hestia, her voice rising ominously. "Don't these people realize what you've been through? What dangers you are in? The unique position you hold in the hearts of the anti-Voldemort movement?" No they don't," said Harry. "They think I'm a waste of space, actually, but I'm used to." "I don't think you're a waste of space." If Harry had not seen Dudley's lips move, he might not have believed it. As it was, he stared at Dudley for several seconds before accepting that it must have been his cousin who had spoken for one thing. Dudley had turned red. Harry was embarrassed and astonished himself. "Well, thanks, Dudley." Again, Dudley appeared to grapple with a thought too unwieldy for expression before mumbling, "You saved my life." "Not really," said Harry. "It was your soul the Dementor would have taken." He looked curiously at his cousin. They had virtually no contact during this summer or last, as Harry had come back to Privet Drive so briefly and kept to his room so much. It now dawned on Harry, however, that the cup of cold tea on which he had trodden on that morning might not have been a booby trap at all. Although rather touched, he was nevertheless quite relieved that Dudley appeared to have exhausted his ability to express his feelings. After opening his mouth once or twice more, Dudley subsided into a scarlet-faced silence. Aunt Petunia burst into tears. Hestia Jones gave her an approving look that changed to outrage as Aunt Petunia ran forward and embraced Dudley rather than Harry. "This is so sweet, Dudders," she sobbed into his massive chest. "Such a lovely boy, saying thank you." "But he hasn't said thank you at all," said Hestia indignantly. "He only said that he didn't think Harry was a waste of space." "Yeah, but coming from Dudley, that's like 'I love you,'" said Harry, torn between annoyance and a desire to laugh as Aunt Petunia continued to clutch Dudley as if he had just saved Harry from a burning building. "Are we going or not?" roared Uncle Vernon, appearing yet again at the living room door. "I thought we were on a tight schedule." Yes, we are," said Diddless Diggle, who had been watching these exchanges with an air of amusement and now seemed to pull himself together. "We must really be off, Harry." He tripped forward and wrung Harry's hand with both of his own. "Good luck. I hope we meet again. The hopes of the wizarding world rest upon your shoulders." "Oh," said Harry. "Right. Thanks." "Farewell, Harry," said Hestia. She also clasped his hand. "Our thoughts go with you. I hope everything's okay," said Harry with a glance toward Aunt Petunia and Dudley. "Oh, I'm sure we shall end up the best of chums," said Diggle lightly, waving his hat as he left the room. Hestia followed him. Dudley gently released himself from his mother's clutches and walked toward Harry, who had repressed an urge to threaten him with magic. Then Dudley held out his large pink hand. "Blimey, Dudley," said Harry over Aunt Petunia's renewed sobs. "Did the Dementors blow a different personality into you?" "Don't know," muttered Dudley. "See ya, Harry." "Yeah," said Harry, taking Dudley's hand and shaking it. "Maybe. Take care, Big D." Dudley nearly smiled, then lumbered back from the room. Harry heard his heavy footfalls on the gravel driveway, and then a car door slammed. It's honestly a beautiful scene, if not pretty funny as well. This kid who hated Harry finally comes to his senses and has a bit of a redemption moment. And Rowling has said that while the two never really became buddies, they still sent each other Christmas cards year after year and were pretty cordial with each other. It's a beautiful part of the series, the idea that anyone can have redemption. And I love that this scene happens in the books in the beginning, and then Harry offers a redemption moment to Voldemort, the most irredeemable character in the books, at the end. It's a beautiful bookend to show that redemption can be possible for anyone, and that forgiveness is much, much more powerful than hate. And to me, it's a tragedy that they took it out of the books. But what do you think about this scene? What else do you hate that they took out of the books, and what are you looking forward to most in the HBO series? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.